Hi guys, welcome back to I Was Just Thinking. Well, we have another episode where we are talking about our story, the story of our family. I have myself and my mom Jackie and my sister Bonnie here with me again today. As you know, Bonnie moves around a lot. She's cooking us some Sunday dinner. We're just kind of here relaxing on this good Sunday. Got to stay home on the COVID-19 crisis. So this is our Stay Home With Me. We left off with some really good content on our story, and we had to take a little bit of a break. We're coming back now where we left off. Mom had left town. She had lost her father, our grandfather, and went out to his services. And Grandma had asked her not to go, but she went, Mom's mother. And so when she came back, Grandma was in the hospital. So I know that had to be very trying, Mom.
She had pneumonia.
Oh. Well, that's what the doctor had said that she would come down with.
So she must not take care of herself much?
Her and my stepfather had broken up.
Okay.
And she was very distraught over all of that. Very much so.
Now they kind of had
Yes.
a really, I call it turbulent, or
Every week.
they always had something going on. I remember.
Always.
Okay.
Yes, always.
So did you feel like that contributed at all to her
Yes.
health?
Yes, I think so. Very much so. She was very distraught that they weren't together anymore. He had started seeing somebody else.
Oh my,
She was
yeah.
very upset behind it. Yeah. So that was a bad time. She ended up with, like I said, with pneumonia when I got back. She had pneumonia. It didn't get any better, and it developed into tuberculosis.
Oh,
It turned into
tuberculosis.
Oh.
Was it because of where she was being cared for, or you don't know?
I don't know. She was at, back then it was still General Hospital. She was in their respiratory section, and she ended up with tuberculosis and had to be transferred over to a sanitarium for tuberculosis. I can't even think of the name. It'll come to me later. This little town she was in, and yeah, we had to wear gowns and all that stuff to go see her. My grandmother had what they call a nervous breakdown, and she was in a mental facility at that time. So
That's what we call it, Nano.
yes, I felt like I had lost them all in one whole swoop. You know, that was a very trying time for me.
Were you able to see Nano?
Yes and no, because of the state of mind she was in. She felt like everybody was against her, and so she was lashing out.
Oh.
You know, before she had went into the hospital, she had, you know, just kind of started lashing out at people, and they had called me once that she had gotten into somebody's car and refused to get out. You know?
At the place where she was?
No, this was
Before
still
she
at
went
home,
into the
before she
hospital.
went in.
Okay.
She started having issues, and she was in and out, and then, you know, like I said, maybe I should back up a little bit. Seems like right after I got married, my grandmother and my mother started having problems. And so it was back and forth with both of them. They had either health issues or mental issues that they were going through. And so it was quite trying. And like you said, I was only 19, so didn't know what I was dealing with, but it was, and trying to be a mother and a wife.
Yeah.
Didn't know how to be that either. But
can imagine. Yeah, that would come with an
so-
instruction book, huh?
it didn't come with any kind of instructions. And my baseline was all gone, you know, where I couldn't come to them for help and stuff. So yeah, it was tough. So, but you know, as time went on, you adjust.
Yeah.
You know, my aunt and my grandfather, we would get together and we'd go out to visit Mama at the sanitarium. I cannot remember the name of it right now, but we would go visit her sometimes, and then, like I said, for the next 10 years, she was in one hospital to another, and so was my grandmother. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then later on, not long after then, I found out I was pregnant with you. And so then we had Niecy to come into the house.
Got two of them?
Yeah.
Got two little ones?
Niecy was born 3 days before Bonnie's second birthday. I was in labor with you for a good, I'd say a good 12 to 16 hours. We had trouble during your delivery because you had the cord wrapped around your neck. But
I'm glad I made it.
yeah, me too. But it was quite an ordeal too. I mean, giving birth ain't no, fun thing, but it was quite traumatic.
Did you have anybody there with you?
For this one I did. Your father was there. He was there through this one. For you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was quite an ordeal. But we had a good time. We made it through.
Yeah.
You survived, I survived. We brought you home on Bonnie's second birthday. And so I told her that was her birthday present. She had a new little sister.
So there was a story about, I know you say it was quite an ordeal, but we survived. There seemed to be a story about Daddy, how he liked to run the streets all the time.
Yes.
And he had not,
Came home that night.
came home and
Yes.
showed up.
On a Friday night, payday night. He didn't come home from work. It was well after midnight when he finally showed up. And I had been in labor all day. Yeah. And of course I had a few words for him when he came in. But then I told him, I've been in labor all day and you ain't even been here and all this stuff. So he gets all riled up and excited about it, and he's ready to go to the hospital, but he's getting ready to run out there with no shoes on or a shirt.
He's just ready to go.
Yeah, he's ready to go. We had to get Bonnie up to his mother's house for her to watch Bonnie while we went. And he got us to, we did. And he tried to get me to wait. And I told him, no, he wanted me to go into his mother's house and wait until time to go. I go, no, we're going now. So he took us on out there, ran a bunch of red lights. So lucky we didn't get pulled over or hurt nobody.
He's like, it's an emergency.
Yeah.
Ambulance.
Yes, he was excited, I guess, but he put us scary.
I can imagine, even with Bonnie and then adding another child to the dynamics, and I know, just knowing myself, I had to be something else because I'm forced to be reckoned with, period. So even as a child, or a baby, I'm sure that changed the dynamics of the family.
Yeah, it did tremendously. When Bonnie was born, Bonnie had a set of lungs on her that it was always loud. I remember they had this closed incubator thing in a delivery room because she was so loud and the doctor couldn't hear her. And she was screaming. And when we got her home, I'm backing up a little bit here. When we got her home, we lived behind being on 12th and Vine. There was a lot of nightclubs up on 12th Street. And we lived right behind one. And they get, playing their music at night. She would sleep all day, and then the minute they start playing the music, she'd wake up and start screaming. And we could never get her back to sleep till at least 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, shoot, that was disturbing her sleep.
Yeah, it was so hard.
Or was she trying to sing?
No, she was just, she was crying. She cried until you came and got her and brought her to you and kept her. Your daddy would get up and walk her and stuff, and I just wasn't one. But, so then we have you. Now she's calmed down quite a bit, but we got you. And you had colic for some reason. And so you cried. And I kept thinking, where did I get all these screaming, crying?
Why they cry so much?
I didn't think I'd ever, it was, yeah.
How did Bonnie take to me?
She loved you. She loved you. You was like a little doll to her, she wasn't but 2 years old, but she thought, I used to have to watch her because she'd want to come in there and pull your arms through the crib.
Yeah.
And pull on you instead of want to play with you. And I had to tell her, no, you can't play with your baby. Not yet. Yeah. But she loved you. She always did love you. You was her baby.
She loved me, Bonnie. Okay. And so at this time, we're still in TV Watkins, and so now we're kind of going along. And were you working by this time now? Are you still in school? Did you ever finish high school? I feel like I'm missing something.
I went back to, I had several jobs during that time. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It was a program. They had lots of programs back then for, especially after the riots and stuff. So there were several programs, and I got in this program that helped you get your GED and train you. So I got my GED, and then I also learned some more clerical skills. And when I was pregnant with you, I was working for, back up, Jackie, back up. The summer before me and your father got married, I went to work for Social Security Administration. They had a program for kids in school. So we worked there that summer. Then I left there and went to work for the lawyer's office. And then when I came out, I went back to the government. Because, with the government, once you've been in, you can come back in if you didn't have a bad record or anything. So I went back. I went through another program that got me back into the government. It was called the Office of the Board of Examiners. That's what it was called. Now it's OPM. But
Office of Personnel Management.
So yes. But I used to grade test, grade applications, and all kind of stuff. And then I also worked at the information desk, where people came in about applying for jobs with the government. So I was working there when I was pregnant with you. Then I left after I had you. I came out, I had 2 kids to take care of then. And so...
and what was Daddy doing?
I'm trying to remember if he had been he always worked for Hartsville. Then he started working for the city. Yeah, his father worked for the city, the water department. And I think he started with the water department, digging ditches. I remember that. Then he left. Your daddy had a lot of jobs during that time. He left and went for the tree service. He didn't like heights. So he didn't
That's a tough one to do here.
But cut down trees, he didn't like that. Yeah, oh gosh, he was with several departments. Memory's not good on some of those things, but I know he stayed with the city off and on. He left and came back too. He was with the city and I was with the feds.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I was kind of kicking along, still new young couple. And then it's my understanding that after a while, we kind of, you guys were ready to grow and move out of TB Watkins.
Well, yeah, I was ready to move out of TB Watkins because as you can imagine in those communities, in that kind of a close community, especially when you got a lot of family down here. Because his brother and his family lived there, and his oldest brother and his family lived there. His mother and them lived there, and all their friends and all this stuff. It was too close, and so everything got to happening. It seemed like to me that
What's everything? What do you mean?
it's like gossiping started happening. People started thinking you was doing this or saying you was doing that, and kept out. You get a bunch of discord going on like that. It's just too much. It was for me anyway. And not to say I was better than anybody else, but being raised as I was, where it was a lot of that arguing and fussing and fighting. I hated it while I was growing up, and I didn't want to be around it. And so I decided it was time for us to move. He didn't want to move at first. And so, I called this realtor and made an arrangement to go look at some houses. So I'm laughing because it was so funny. He refused to go with us. So he followed us.
He wanted to ride in the car, but
he followed us. So every time we stopped at the house to go look at it, he'd stop and he'd go look at it too, and he'd give us his opinion and what he didn't like. And
But he wouldn't get in the car with you.
He wouldn't get in the car with us, and me and the realtor, with all of us, us two. Yeah, us three rather. I'm sorry. So, but yes, until finally we found a house that we both loved, and we went through the process, and lo and behold,
my gut tells me that, just knowing Daddy, that the house had to be so nice and so good that Daddy kind of had this pride about him that this house was the stuff.
It was.
And he was gonna go back and he was gonna brag and tell everybody how nice his house is.
Yeah, exactly. What he about to do? Yeah, because I was thinking about what Mom said. I've lived in that environment. I guess we'll get to that later. But when you're thinking about living in a public housing or a low income housing environment, and everybody's all together, and if you know a lot of the people, then you got people knocking on your door. When you want to have a quiet day and just kick back and relax, you feel like you just can't, because somebody's always gonna come over, and it seems like everybody always got some mess going on. Like I don't feel like dealing with my mess, let alone dealing with your mess. So
I certainly feel you into their mess.
So I certainly feel you on that. I agree. Like I'm ready to get out.
I'm coming out of here. I'm ready to go.
All right.
So we moved out of TB Watkins into our little house, and you're right, it was the cutest little house. They called it a California design, and we just loved it.
Yeah, I remember it, and I remember it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. There were situations and events that happened to make me remember it, but I do remember like driving up in the driveway, looking at the house from the front, looking in the backyard with the swing set and stuff that they got for us, and it was just like I did have good memories of that house.
It had a big old deck on the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this was before people started building decks
Yeah.
on the back of their
It's
house.
fancy. Like,
Yeah, it was
like,
very fancy.
Yeah.
California design, they said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we loved it.
I feel like this would be a good spot to stop, and take a break. So, I think this story is really getting juicy. I feel like we've shared a lot, and I really appreciate you going into the detail you have. It paints a really good picture, and helping understand what life was like during those times.
Yeah.
Man.
You can picture it, I guess, but living it was quite something.
It's even more. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm sure that there are things that I experienced that I haven't thought to discuss.
Yeah, absolutely. So
So,
much.
yeah.
Yeah. To live it. But
Yeah.
you've done a really good job. I would say you're a very good storyteller. I love
I
that.
get it from my grandmother.
Yeah.
I love to hear her.
Yeah. So we'll take a little pause right here, and I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I hope you come back for our next episode. And it's our story. It may not always be pretty, but it's ours. With that, we'll be right back.
All right.
Thank you.